Hello everyone, and thank you for returning to my channel and checking out my latest video. Today I want to be showing you how to do a no-sew. That's, yes, I said it, no-sew remote holder that goes on your wrist, because I play a lot of that game Just Dance, like to work out, and it's, it's fun or whatever. But I've had the problem where I'm dancing and I like extend my right arm out really hard when I'm like following a choreography, and I fling my, my remote across my house, and I don't want to break it. And I always feel like I could maybe dance a little bit better and get higher points if I didn't have to focus so much on holding the remote a right way, to where I don't pause the game and I also don't fling it across the room. So this is what I've come up with. So I have an Apple TV. I really don't know if this is available on any other platform, but I mean, whatever your remote is, basically, just take it, outline it on a white piece of paper, and then you're going to add a 1/4 seam allowance around what you traced on your remote. And then you're going to get your paper scissors and you're going to cut out your pattern. Now on the fabric, the only fabric I would recommend that would work for this project is something stretchy fabric. I do have some like knit stretchy fabric here that see the selvage, so it stretches this way. So here I have my pattern. Now for this project, we're going to do like an envelope pillowcase. I don't know if you've ever seen an envelope pillowcase, but there's two pieces, and then you kind of like fit the pillow in here, and they kind of like, the back overlaps, and then the front is just, like a normal type pillow. So in order to do that, I'm going to cut just one complete piece out of this. I'm going to get my pins, and then just to hold it in place. And then now once you pin this to your fabric, just cut it out with your good fabric scissors. And then now I can finish cutting around this. Okay. And then also you're going to cut the same piece out of your heavy interfacing, and let me just show you what that'll look like once you cut it out. So here I cut out of our heavy interfacing without the 1/4 seam allowance. See how it fits within that guide pretty much. I think I cut a little bit extra, but that's okay. Basically what this is going to do is, on my wrist, it's just going to give me just some sort of structure, so it's not too much doing this when I'm moving around. This will kind of help everything just kind of stay straight and not be flopping sideways. That is my hypothesis. So yeah, so within the envelope, it's going to be like that. So for our second, well, there's 3 pieces to this little pouch that I'm making. So after you cut that out, then you're going to go back, or you could do this before, but I just kind of make it as I go. You're going to put back your other piece back on the paper, and you're going to fold it in half as so, and you're going to trace it. Okay, you're going to trace this piece, and you're going to trace it again somewhere a little further down on the paper. Let me make it a little higher. Okay. So you're going to trace 2 pieces, okay? And again, this is however your remote is. If your remote is like a Wii remote or something, just, remember, mine is an Apple TV remote. So with one of the pieces, one is going to be shorter than the other. So let's call this the S piece, the short piece, and this is our long piece. On the S piece, I'm going to add, now remember, within this, there is already a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3/4 inch down here. Okay. And the thing about these knit fabrics, or if you're using any kind of spandex, is that you don't have to worry about hemming it or folding it up, because they really don't fray at all. So that just kind of helps you make this project faster, you know, helps you get you on with your day. So this is 3/4 inch. Okay. Now on our long piece, I'm going to go ahead and add 1.25 inches. Okay. All of this, so 1.25. So now I'm going to cut 2 more pieces out of my stretchy fabric. And again, I'll just make the arrows. Make sure that the way you cut them is like this, and these arrows are parallel to your selvage. So now we're going to come over here. Now, in a perfect world, if I had been paying attention to what I was buying, I would have bought a low temp heat gun, which is what I need and what you need to do whenever you want to hot glue fabric together, foam, fabric, delicate things like that. You use a low temp gun with low temp sticks. And I also wanted to show this off last time I went there. I don't know what's up with my local Joann store, but last time I went there, they had these really cool gadgets. It was like these little silicone, I can only describe it as like thimble looking covers for your index finger and thumbs, so that way you could like touch hot glue or like press something in a very small area, like with your iron or something, and of course the silicone would protect your fingers and it wouldn't burn you. And I wanted to use this for this tutorial. I do apologize, they didn't have them that day at the store, and I wanted to show off some fabric glue sticks, specifically fabric. It said fabric from the Aleene's brand, but they didn't have them. So I settled for this and still bought the wrong gun. So I'm sorry, that's just my rant, because I'm very annoyed that I did that. So purchased the low temp sticks, low temp gun, but I'm using a high temp gun. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. But if you can do that, you know, learn from my mistake and just, you know, read what you're doing. That's the best thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so first things first, what we're gonna do, let me move this out of the way. I'm so sorry. So I have my gun all ready to go. So I'm gonna put hot glue. Let me see, come on. Oh, snap. Like this. Yeah. And then I'm just going to cover that. Perfect. It's good. I'll get my marker and I'll roll it. Okay. I need to put another glue stick. See, because that hot temp glue gun like ate up this little glue stick. So, see, I already had to put another one. It just like ate it up. So, next thing you're gonna do, let me show you here. You're just gonna kind of roughly measure out your wrist with some elastic. I'm gonna do 2 pieces because I feel, especially the way like, I don't know how to dance, so I just kind of like flail my arms around. I just need like extra protection for my remote so it doesn't fly off. So I'm gonna do 2 strands. So let me just roughly measure this. So that's about there. You want it snug, you know what I mean? Like not too tight, not too loose. Because then if it's too loose, it defeats the purpose of the project. Stuff's still gonna be flying off, you know what I mean? And then I'm just gonna overlap it on another piece and just measure it out like that. So now I have my 2 pieces. Oh, and I got a little thing here. So let me put some more glue. Very easy to do. Now, what we're going to do, so look at it this way. We're going to put the elastic in now because it'll get kind of awkward right now when we put in the 2 envelope pieces. I'm just going to kind of set it as such. And then I'm just going to kind of fold over. And with my marker, I'm just going to kind of mark where that is. Fold this one over, and I'm just going to mark where that is. So I know where my 2 elastic pieces are going to go, right? So I'm going to put 2 slits, one going down this way, another one going down this way. I'm just going to use my seam ripper. Again, it doesn't have to be, this is not a pretty project. It's just something to make. And then I'm just going to get my seam ripper and I'm just going to do a slit down like that. However, wide you need to make it so that way your elastic can go through. Okay, and then I'm going to make another little slit right next to it, like just kind of copy it. Okay, just copying it so that way I have this action going on here, you know what I mean? So I'm going to put it like this. I'll make this a little longer. And then you just got to kind of feed it through. Now that I have them both in, what I'm just going to do is take my hot glue and I'm just going to kind of seal this part down because I don't want the elastic moving, back and forth. I told you this is not going to be a pretty project. It's just extremely quick to make and just practical so that way you can get back to your dancing video games. Yes. So I'm just going to seal that. As so, and let that dry for a second. So now we're coming down to the end of this little quick project. And if you haven't played Just Dance, I really hate dancing, but I find it to be really fun in terms of like counting my calories. And I have an Apple iWatch, so I count my calories that way and how many calories I'm burning, as I'm dancing. So it's a lot of fun. So now so I hope you're doing it in this sequence because this is the easiest way I feel to do. So now that you're about here, get your glue gun and you're just going to glue. I'd say we'll do halfways because we're going to do the long piece first, okay? So let's say with a pin, I'm gonna mark it right about here. That I need to stop with the glue. So I'm just going to put it on the beige, the fabric part, not so much the interfacing. And I'm going to be generous with it, but not too generous to where it's falling off the edge and it's just like gluing itself to your table or your paper in this case. See, this would be the best part, the best place to have one of those silicone thimble things. Because then I could press it and not be afraid to burn myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's one piece. and let this part dry before you do the last piece, which is your short piece. So it's going to overlap like that. And in fact, you know what? I should shorten this. I think I did it a little too long. And you can gauge because it should be slightly longer than this part. So I'm going to cut off, let me see, that much, which if we go back after you watch this video, you can correct yourself. So I cut off 1 inch. Okay. So last but not least, okay, this feels kind of cool now. I'm going to glue this down. Oh my God, I put so much. Okay, hold on. No, I touched the glue. I'm just going to glue a little bit past. So I might trim this again. I'll see right now. I'll try and put in the remote, and if I need to trim more, enable so I can be able to put the remote inside this envelope casing, then I will do so, and I will reflect the changes in the description. Okay, and while that's drying, great, that's okay. So while that's drying, then again, you know, if you want to sew this, that's fine. But I'm trying to do this no sew for the people that do not have a machine and are not familiar with sewing with a thread needle. So I'm going to put some hot glue on one side. I'm going to put that down. And then same thing over here. And I think I'm overlapping this about 3/4 inch, 5/8 inch, not quite an inch. Okay, so let all this dry, and then I'll trim it just to make it a little bit neater looking, and then we will test it out. So straight up, today is like a lazy day. I look like trash, but so does this project. But it's just a functional thing that you can make very quickly. You don't have to know how to sew. Just some things I want to say about this project. So like, let me show you, because you know sometimes people do projects and they never show you the outcome. So here's my little thing. I slip it, and this hot glue is holding quite well. I'm being quite rough with it while I'm trying to put it on. So I'll put it on like that. Now, depending how thick your fabric is, you might need to make a little slit for the sensor if it's not catching the signal from the remote. You know, make a little slit somewhere around here so that way the sensor kind of peeps out. But I think that depends on the thickness of your fabric. And this is like tight. But that's good because right now I dropped my remote again, and I'm just clumsy like that. So I'm just pulling this over like that. And like I said, if you need to make a little, hole for the sensor, you can do that real quick. I'm just going to do it. I don't know if I need it, but I'm just going to do it with my seam ripper. And then, yeah, just like that. And then I'm going to put it on. See how I'm being kind of rough with it? And I just hot glued these things together. So yeah, so now I can like do my dances really quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the remote is not going anywhere. So I hope this helps somebody that plays the game as much as I do when I'm trying to lose weight, because it is a fun way to work out. But yeah. And it may not look the prettiest, but again, it's just quick, functional. You don't have to know how to sew. And, you know, with that interfacing, you can bend it and then you just pull it out and use your remote as normal if you need to. So that's that project for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good time. Bye.